Alright, so made a little quick video on TikTok for a little spark plug tutorial video, so I kind of wanted to make a longer one here on YouTube that may help some people out. So here we go. So first things first, working on a 4.7 liter, yeah, you can see it, okay, spark plug holes. 4.7 liter out of a Toyota Tundra 2007. It has coil packs on top of the spark plugs. So I'll show you on this side because it's in already. So these are your coil packs, 2, 3, 4, that sit on top of the spark plug. That's what causes the spark plug to fire off. So take the coil packs off. Usually it's about a 10 millimeter bolt. And underneath is your spark plug that is way down in there. So for what I do, I have 2 of these. One of these, this one, is the one I use for pulling them out. It's a 5/8 deep well spark plug socket, and it has a piece of rubber hose in it for holding onto the porcelain of the plug to pull the plug out. Okay, and so I stick that in there with my extension. It goes down there pretty far, and by hand I make sure that it's on the plug itself. Okay. Alright, so let's see if I can do this with the phone. That's terrible. Whatever. So we're going to pull this out real quick. Always use 2 hands, one on the pivot point, one on the handle. Otherwise you'll crack the porcelain. So we're going to just break it loose and then pull it out by hand. If it's been installed correctly the first time, it should come out nice. Because when you put plugs in, they should get anti-seize on them. This is actually the plug that's going to stay in there. I just pulled it out for the video. So we put anti-seize on the plugs to keep the plugs from galling. What galling is it's a chemical reaction between 2 dissimilar metals that causes them to bond together or get stuck, rip threads out, especially with these late model engines that have the aluminum heads. Okay, so we've got anti-seize on there. I use a high temp Permatex anti-seize, which is proven to be, in my experience, very helpful. Okay, so this is just a piece of 3/8 fuel line, low pressure fuel line, and I use it to hold on to the porcelain. Now the reason that I do this is because if you use that first socket that had the hose inside of it, I've experienced when you stick it inside the hole, the socket, in order to get traction, ends up getting stuck on the spark plug, and you got to hand it out anyways, pull it out anyways, and try it all over again. So by using the hose, we can get it started in there, into the threads, to get the spark plug started into the threads, then we pull out the hose. This is where your second deep well socket comes into play. Same 5/8 socket. This one has the little rubber hose removed from it, so it will not stick to it. Okay, and the reason I use a hose to put that in initially, especially with some of the older V8s, is if you get a bad angle on it before you get it started, it can break the porcelain, and then you got to do it again. So I stick that 5/8 socket down there and I hand tight until it gets snug. So torque wrench. With the old cast iron heads, this wasn't as big a deal because they were the same metal. You could just kind of get them tight to where it felt good. They do have torque specs for them, obviously, but with the aluminum heads especially, I like to use the torque wrench with the inch pounds and all that. So for Toyota spec, it's 156 inch-pounds for a 4.7 liter V8. So we'll tighten that till you hear the click. Okay. and that came right out, didn't get stuck in there. So that's how I do spark plugs on these coil on top V8s without having a problem. It keeps the porcelains from breaking on new plugs when you're putting them in. If you use the spark plug or the spark plug socket without the rubber to put it in, one of the concerns is it won't hold on to the plug, and so you got to put it in and it drops the spark plug down there, and then when you're trying to find it, it could be lodged at an angle, porcelain breaks, porcelain in your cylinder. So that's the way that I do it, just to kind of keep things super simple and safe, and it's right every time. Hope this helps you guys that are just getting into the cars and tuning your gas engines and stuff like that. I'm going to try and make a few more of these as I have time and think about it. But yeah, if you have anything that you think would be good for a beginner gearhead or somebody getting into cars, you know, let me know. I'm going to try and make a playlist with this kind of stuff for kids in high school and things like that. Anyways, cool. Have a great day. Keep a positive attitude. We will check you later.